Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here I have an official statement from Sony about the Spider-Man debacle. And here it is, an official statement from Sony Pictures. Much of today's news about Spider-Man has mischaracterized recent discussions about Kevin Feige's involvement in the franchise. We are disappointed, but respect Disney's decision not to have him continue as a lead producer of our next live-action Spider-Man film. We hope this might change in the future, but understand that the many new responsibilities that Disney has given him, including all their newly added Marvel properties, do not allow time for him to work on IP they do not own. Kevin is terrific, and we are grateful for his help and guidance and appreciate the path he has helped put us on, which we will continue. So first of all, let's talk about the bottom line. They say they're going to continue what he started, which pretty much means all the casting is going to stay the same, and it looks like they're going to continue from where it left off with the big cliffhanger in Spider-Man Far From Home. So a lot of MCU fans will be very happy about that. But obviously, MCU fans are angry. They're threatening to boycott the PS4, blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. They're not boycotting anything. It's all big talk. It is done. It is done. It is over. Spider-Man is no longer part of the MCU. But let me just pick up my device again to talk about something. This is the biggest bullshit you will ever hear. Right, they say that everything that people are saying is mischaracterized. So they're talking about the financial rumours, the financial breakdown, the talk of Disney wanting a 50% split. So they're basically trying to insinuate, without saying it, that that's not true. Of course, it is true. Involvement in the franchise. We are disappointed, but respect Disney's decision not to have him continue as a lead producer of our next live-action Spider-Man film. We hope this might change in the future, but understand that the many new responsibilities that Disney has given him, including all their newly added Marvel properties, do not allow time for him to work on an IP they do not own. Bullshit! Sony, are you telling me that Disney won't allow Kevin Feige to work on a film that involves Marvel's biggest character? Spider-Man is Marvel Comics' biggest character. He always has been, and he always will be, right? That is the fact. And you're telling me that Spider-Man is no longer part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe because Kevin Feige has to develop X-Men movies and Fantastic Four movies. Bullshit. Utter bullshit. This broke down because of money. And I believe they knew this even when they were making Far From Home. I genuinely believe that. Now, for me, this is fantastic news. I do not like Spider-Man Homecoming. I don't like Spider-Man Far From Home. No, let me reiterate what I'm trying to say. It's not that I don't like those films. They're very ordinary, mediocre, and forgettable. Just like most of the cast, the characters, and the way they plotted both those films. Forgettable movies. They're not very good films. They are, for me, the least interesting Spider-Man films ever made, because literally Spider-Man, the most important character in Marvel Comics, is made to be like everybody else in the Marvel Universe, uninteresting and very, very forgettable. In fact, unless you're Chris Evans, Captain America, or Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, you're not a very interesting standout character in the MCU. Let's be honest about that, right? Okay, Thor's kind of interesting. I like Thor. Chris Hemsworth does a good job. Great screen presence and all of that. But basically, Spider-Man should be front and centre of the MCU. In fact, after everyone saw Spider-Man Far From Home, everyone assumed that's what was going on. I think these talks broke down months ago. These rumours have been happening for a long time, and everyone was palming it off, saying, no, it's just rumours. But it's true. Spider-Man will no longer be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You see, empires destroy themselves from within. And I think this official statement, this official response, is bullshit, but it's fantastic because it politely says, don't blame us, blame them. Don't blame the husband, blame the wife. Don't blame Sony Studios, blame Disney. But blah, 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 we understand, we love Disney, we love Feige. Oh, Kevin, you know what I mean? But it's bullshit. They don't really feel that way. We're disappointed. It's not our fault. We wanted to continue the relationship. That's not true. Disney wanted 50% of the profits, right? And Sony said, no, we'll give you 10. And they said, no. And I understand why this is broken down. Don't get me wrong. And I understand Sony's position and Disney's position. Sony's position is this. We cannot give you 50% of the bloody profits. That's not why we got into bed together. We got into bed together because we failed in Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2. And we need an easy $1 billion movie, Spider-Man. You know, we need to make easy box office movies. You know, we can't make a $1 billion Spider-Man movie, so we need you to do it. And with the help of the reputation of the MCU, that happened, right? It didn't happen with Spider-Man Homecoming, but it certainly happened with Far From Home, because Spider-Man was very, very relevant in Infinity War and in Endgame, and that just, and of course, Far From Home coming after Endgame, that's the reason that kind of got pushed up to over $1 billion. But isn't it interesting, right, that Spider-Man needs the MCU to get $1 billion movies? People, you know, Marvel fans keep on telling me that Batman v Superman should have been over $1.5 billion dollars box office, and they're absolutely spot on there. It, you know, that, and a Superman film should be getting $1 billion anyway. So as a Superman fan, as you can see what I'm wearing, I concede that. But you Spider-Man fans have to concede that too. That Spider-Man movies don't make enough money apart from Far From Home, and that's only because of the push from Avengers Endgame. But as I say, empires are destroyed from within. And from the moment the Phase 4 slate was announced, I think, Houston, we have a massive fucking problem here. Because Phase 4 is a filler slate. It's a filler slate, and it's at the wrong time. You know, Sony have just announced who's directing Venom 2. That's massive. That's massive. That you can't get bigger than that. They are getting their shit together. Now, elements of Venom might not have been great, but ultimately, by the end of the film, you enjoy what they did with it, and you can't wait for the sequel. They're doing Morbius as well. Hopefully, they do that film justice. In Jared Leto, they've certainly got a high, talented, quality actor. But then again, Ed Norton was a high-quality actor. You see, it's all raining now against Disney all of a sudden. And it's strange because Avengers Endgame is the most highly profitable film in film history. But you see, that's not enough. It's about your content. It's about your reputation. Because when you re-release Avengers Endgame, just to beat Avatar, when you re-release Spider-Man Far From Home for 4 extra minutes to make a little bit more money, to squeeze the money out of it before you lose Spider-Man to Sony again, then you are an immoral company. Now, all studios are immoral to a point, but they don't go advertising the fact that the thing is with Bob Iger, he just kind of advertises the fact that his Disney are just there to make money and not make great movies. And interesting what Ed Norton said the other day when they asked him about the fallout with Feige over The Incredible Hulk, and he just thought, I just wanted to make one good MCU movie. And that says everything, doesn't it? That says everything. That someone like Ed Norton is finally coming out and he's not keeping quiet anymore. I think The Incredible Hulk is my favourite MCU movie. For me, it's equally as good as Captain America The Winter Soldier, and that's a really good film. And I think that Ed's vision for The Incredible Hulk would have been even better. That's why there was a fallout, because Feige doesn't want to make standout movies. He wants to make a series of movies, and that's the problem. So basically, Sony have made their announcement. So if you read anywhere that they're still in talks, they're not. It's done. It's over. This spin is brilliant. Oh, we're friends. But basically, don't blame us. Don't blame them. Don't blame us. Blame them. It's over. Spider-Man will no longer be part of the MCU. You can cry about it. But as I say, empires are destroyed from within. And with what's going on over at the DC world of movies right now, it's the wrong time. Sony are getting their act together with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Morbius, Venom 2. this isn't the time to have a filler Phase 4 slate. Now, it's going to be very interesting what happens. Now, we know there's going to be a lot of buzz when Feige starts developing X-Men and Fantastic Four. But they've already said that they want to give X-Men a rest right now. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. They need to get those movies developed as fast as possible because Phase 4 has nothing. Now, of course, they couldn't have squeezed them into Phase 4. That's ridiculous. But they have to be part of Phase 5. I think Fantastic Four will. Whether X-Men will be part of Phase 5, I think definitely will. But, you know, the sooner they develop those movies, the better because they need them. Because they haven't got Iron Man anymore and they haven't got Captain America. Well, they've got a kind of a Captain America, a.k.a. Falcon, but no one gives a shit about Falcon. Chris Evans was Captain America. They've lost him. They've lost Robert Downey Jr. And now they don't have Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I'm telling you, people, this is the beginning of Feige's empire crumbling. And I tell you what, right now, Walter Hamada, who runs the DC Films division, is laughing like Muttley.